man. Can you cue the Law and Order sound effect? I hope
Did you hear that, Tracy?
I hope you're recording all this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kevin McLoughlin, and this is...
Paul Robertson.
That's right. And this is the Riffs and...
Rhythms podcast.
How you doing, man?
Good. Yeah, we were talking before the show that it seemed like it was forever ago.
It has.
This might have been the first time in a while that... I mean, again, folks, when we talk about, we are good friends, right? Even though we have good banter and we kind of give each other a little shit here and there, we do sometimes get a chance to catch up outside of the podcast or,
we hang out together on purpose sometimes.
Yeah. This week, since the last taping, we didn't, we were like, geez, I haven't seen you forever.
It's been a long 2 weeks, actually.
So I miss my Kevin. So
that's so cute.
Yes. So since we haven't seen each other, what's been going on? Here we are, already like second week of February. And Groundhog saw a shadow, which means more winter for everybody else, not Florida.
Well, is that what happened? I didn't.
I think. Do you really
didn't go to Punxsutawney?
We know our good friend Brad Brock and his whole crew got up early.
That's the thing is we have significant, important stuff to talk about.
Yeah, because we're too hungover to wake up that early on a Saturday, right?
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Yes, that's right. Yeah, let's give a shout out here to our Ghost in the Aux there hanging behind the...
What's up?
He's not hanging. He's sitting there comfortably.
Yeah, how's it hanging?
You guys are the kings of never having a consistent intro, by the way.
Yes, we're experimenting to see which one will be the best.
Yeah,
we'll eventually call it experimenting.
Yeah.
We'll eventually.
That's the same thing people use in marriages when they're saying, "Oh, we're experimenting with an open."
Yeah, it always goes well.
Wait, how do you know you're not married?
Have you experimented with someone's open?
I know.
I've known plenty of married people.
Oh, okay.
Oh my!
Wow.
Well, we could put an end to that. Right?
I've been in many of these podcasts. I've been the experiment.
Oh my!
Usually the guy holding the camera. Are you the cuck?
The cuck is not the cameraman. The cuck is the guy in the corner in the solo chair.
Well,
anyway,
what?
You know what the good news is?
The cuck doesn't get paid. I get paid.
I'm having a huge family reunion next week. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
So I've got a lot of family coming to town. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to get to see some people I don't get to see very often. And my cousin Jim, who is a retired fireman, he and I have been threatening to go for a ride for years. And he's coming in. And we're going to go for a ride. We're going to go around the lake.
Cool.
As they say.
Yeah, so you've got family, some in Florida. I think you mentioned a couple podcasts ago that in Maine also. We were talking to Micah.
Yeah. My brother-in-law is from Maine.
Okay.
But he lives in Fort Pierce.
Okay, so
I got the family is far flung. We're all over, in places known and unknown.
So
across the entire United States, up to even Alaska.
Yeah. So how big is your brood? I mean, I guess your brood is only just your children, right? But is that the right term?
How
big's your clan? How big is the McLoughlin clan?
The McLoughlin clan.
Yeah, don't stand up.
Giant.
I don't need to see it.
It's giant. We've got hundreds of people in the family.
That's right.
The family that I consider immediate family is actually not immediate. They're actually kind of slow to act. No, I'm just kidding. My father's mother was a twin, and both of them had a ton of kids, and so and they were best friends all through life, being twins. So those two huge families, when we would get together, and last time we got together was, 15, 20 years ago. But there was immediate family was 100 people.
Wow.
And it's bigger now. They are showing up faster than they're dropping off, which is good. And then my mom's side of the family is huge. Her brother had 8 kids, and her sister had 3. So yeah, there's a bunch.
Have you ever had a big family? I mean, other than what you're describing, prior. Do you ever have a big family reunion? Actually,
yeah, we would have to rent out huge facilities.
Oh wow, okay, all right, yeah. So, So I mean, that's cool. I mean, we've probably talked about this before. Is I don't have that long lineage here in the U.S. with family and things. Some of it still is in the other across the ocean, and in Scotland and so forth. But that's pretty cool to get a chance to.
Yeah, it was my father's grandfather, my great grandfather, maybe my great great grandparents are all from Ireland.
So a lot of people in the family. They must be all Catholic.
Being from Ireland, yeah, it's a pretty good bet.
There's nothing else to do.
Or Orthodox, right?
Orthodox. I don't know if Orthodoxy is very big in Ireland.
I thought it was Catholic and Orthodox.
Well, Protestant.
Protestant?
Catholic and Orthodox. They probably have this.
Man.
They probably have the same philosophy on reproduction, which is as often as possible.
Don't you follow?
Philosophy on reproduction is yes.
Yes.
Jesus. How did we get him back in the mic talking about? Didn't we just end this conversation? I think he's cucking.
That's okay.
He's cucking this episode. I think actually
that is a debate. It's not really a talked about debate because it's quite an uncomfortable subject. But those of Northern European heritage, those of American, heritage, don't have kids very much. And other cultures, common is 3 to 8 kids.
Well, it's a common thing in history for the more advanced and comfortable your civilization gets, the less kids you have.
Oh, well, that's why civilizations die.
The more educated your civilization is
that's why civilization dies, because then there's a whole upstart country full of young dumb kids that are outnumbering you simply through sex.
Which any dumbass can do.
Well, that's why human advancement takes so long. It's because once someone finally gets smart, they get overthrown by the dumb ones. Based on this conversation, I would have to check with history to see.
It sounds classist of you.
It is kind of sounding very classist, actually.
Kevin is very elitist.
Based on the facts presented within this conversation alone, that was my conclusion. But to look at all of history, it's not the rule. But it does happen.
So, so it sounds like you're. I don't know if excited is the right word, but looking forward to seeing.
Actually, excited is the right word. It's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a number of large gatherings, and it's gonna be great.
Good. Okay. Well, very cool. So, it's just we're talking before the show how quickly
is something on fire outside. It smells like a tire burning. Oh, we did hear that car that was peeling out, and probably the cloud finally made it over.
We do never know. So our neighbors here in the building across the hall from us is a tow truck company, and they had stopped by, and we'll have to after we tape this. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got all this stuff. I noticed you guys have all these camera stands and so forth." He's got some heavy duty metal camera stand brackets over there. That's in that box over there. So you need to take
we can mount them to the ceiling.
We got to take a look at it. I said, one of them's over there right behind the other stuff. So, yeah, we'll take a look at it. It's like, wow, okay, that's pretty
awesome.
It's pretty heavy duty stuff. So,
a sponsorship from Random Guy Sponsorship.
That's right. North County Towing, I think it is. So I think that's, we need to talk. I need to talk to them about them. They should be part of the sponsors of this show. So since we have to, figure out where to park here with all the tow trucks. Yeah. But apparently they found it in a trailer that they repoed. So that's what they got.
Oh, well, that's what we want. So it's porn equipment.
So it could be, it's on point in this room here, right? The history of this room. So
a podcast studio sharing a building with a tow truck company. It reminds me very deeply of my elementary school experience, because my elementary school shared a building with Terminix.
I wasn't quite sure where you're going with that, Devin. So, but okay, you do.
It was such a weird thing growing up. Like, why do we? We're not just next door to Terminex. We literally share the building.
Yeah, you live in St. Lucie County. We know that.
That's yeah. That's how you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the pizzle. So anyway, great. Here we. I can't believe this. It's already January. Just blew by.
It's we're halfway through February
and it's like holy cow, and we're here, getting ready for Valentine's Day is going to be coming up here soon as well, and it's just totally So a lot of I know we'll talk a little bit more. You've got a lot of stuff coming up here in the next few months.
I do.
You got trips. You got trips galore going on here. You told me a little bit more about some of the some of your things going on with some recordings, some videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing right now that is burning, that it's just is more recently just happened that we gotta just get it out of our system is how much we got cucked by the Grammys this year. So
It's not an award ceremony. It's like a contest of who has the most money to promote themselves into a Grammy.
And you've talked about this before, many times about it seems like it's just, whatever you promotion you pay into it, in a couple episodes ago, you're talking about how much it costs to promote at certain levels.
Yeah,
and
just to get any kind of exposure on a national record, they're investing $10,000 a month into the advertising. Imagine how much it costs to buy a cowboy hat to go with your brand new super real country album.
Because it sounds legit to me, right?
And a Grammy included, yeah.
So of course, if you haven't seen the Grammys, it was they typically do this on a Sunday night, probably in between typically Super Bowl when waiting for. When it's a quiet period and there's no football left, right? There's nothing else to watch.
Hold on just a minute. I don't want to continue to sound elitist because I just made fun of Beyonce, who is an artist that I actually respect. But let me tell you why I did that. Because traditionally, the country market has been way different than all others. In the pop market, you do a number one hit, and it could be your first song, and you're great. Everybody knows your name. Traditionally, in the country world, you can have a string of number one hits that goes for 2 decades, and nobody knows who you are. You're just not even warmed up yet. Now we have pop stars coming into the country market, and one day Beyonce's a pop star, and then 5 minutes later, all of a sudden she's got this country album out and a Grammy for it. Which I didn't even know that album was even out. That is not part of the typical traditional country music market. So what it tends to make you think is that it was manufactured.
Okay, let me ask you a question related to this. What is more cringe, aka what feels more manufactured? Being a pop star and going country, or starting as a country star and going pop?
I don't think either is cringe if it's good music.
Okay, so I mean, and especially now with the genres so melded together, like forever, like rap and dance and country have been becoming one. But like you can't
ever since Old Town Road.
I got one that goes further back than that.
Oh, I'm sure it goes way back.
It's like, okay,
I blame Hootie.
It's as if Beyonce won a trip to a dude ranch, rode a horse, and bought a cowboy hat. Now all of a sudden she's a country star. Like, that's not very realistic in my mind.
Wait. Are you saying that she had the same experience that Billy Crystal did when he went in City Slickers?
Exactly. They had pop star slickers. Well, that sounds kind of gross, actually.
So again, we're already going right there in this recap. If you haven't seen the Grammys, and I know a lot of people have not watched anymore, and award show, that the feeling a lot of award show is part of this change that's going on in this country about looking at elitists or people that are out of touch or whatnot. And so 2025 Grammys was at the LA. Which is ironic. I think what's the
Crypto Theater?
Thank you. Yeah, Yeah, so that's ironic in itself, right?
Oh,
so,
crypto.com?
Where the LA Lakers play, right? So it's in LA, and people have always complained about that. There's so many awards that are given in the Grammys that they're always announced, or there's a second show before it goes live on TV. Like this best this or that. They're never ever aired anymore. So you may only see now maybe 5 awards that are announced over a 3.5 hour period. Most of it is which, don't get me wrong, I love seeing performances, and I do learn about some new artists that I'm not, I'm like, who the hell is this, right? I got to ask my kid, who's that person or that person? But it still does feel like it's a who's who of big names are going to be up for these awards. So,
well, but that in itself is not bad. You don't want to have somebody nobody's ever heard of to win a Grammy because then it would clearly be cringe.
Well, you want
manufactured.
Is it also for commercial, selling commercial space, TV time? You're not going to bury some of these larger name performers that are up for awards on the other award announcements. You want prime time airtime to see that Beyonce won or who won the album of the year or whatever, right?
Yeah. And these gates are set a little high. The thing that I'm talking about is, we live in a capitalistic society. Capitalize. That's what it's here for. So I don't have any problem with anyone capitalizing on anything. But and now that I've prefaced it with that, a trend that I've seen in advertising is that it used to be to get into a magazine, it was some sort of journalist who had an interest in something, and they sought it out and they spotlighted it. Now, if you want to get into a magazine, all you got to do is send them some money, and you're in the magazine.
Right.
Okay. Used to be, record companies would be gatekeepers for the music industry, and they would tell people, okay, you're good, we'll back you. And the music that was out was always really, really good. Even if you didn't personally like the style, it's still a great band. They deserve to be famous. Now there's no gatekeepers in the music industry. Anybody who puts a song out, even me, can just put it out there, and it's there. It's not going to be the kind of blockbuster hit that a record label-backed song would have been, even back in the day, because there's no budget to advertise it. Okay? So everything is really coming down to what kind of resources are behind it to push it. And what better accolade could you buy than the top highest awards in the music industry? And, I would certainly never accuse the whatever organization gives out a Grammy of, selling them, but it has been accused in the past, and I would be willing to bet that there's a process that it can be had.
All right, so let me ask you this. So if you had access to funds, money that allowed you to push It's About Time up and into that same type of stratosphere you're talking about for best rock, blues, or whatever the categories is, would you do it?
Provided it would create an adequate return, yes. So let's just say you can buy yourself a place in music history. Okay, is that feasible? Like, if you, it's not true, but if there was such a thing as being able to buy a Grammy, how much more do you get to charge at your concerts? How many more streams are you going to get? How many more actual merchandise sales are you going to get because you're a Grammy holder? Does it justify the cost of a Grammy if there is such a thing that you could buy a Grammy? I don't know.
I thought that was just proven. I don't know.
Well,
you could just buy them.
Well, okay. So
can you?
So
I don't know.
So
officially, I'm sure no, because it would totally
officially
illegitimize the entire process.
Well, I would let me take a sidestep to your question, though, Devin. Right? So, the Hollywood Walk of Fame stars. Are you familiar with that process? Okay.
Oh,
I don't know what's the process of getting awarded.
I thought those for sure you bought.
Right.
Okay, you bought one.
Those you don't earn anything. You
what
just
about
buy
the
them.
hands in the cement in front of man's Chinese? Do you have to buy that, or do you get that?
I don't know if that's tied. If they're two that are tied together, but yeah, I mean
that's the traditional Hollywood ceremony.
Yeah,
of
right.
greatness.
But it's interesting is I can see it for the Oscars or Academy. Well, what that's the same is that if you made sure you had a good agent and press and so forth, that helps you get your nomination. Being nominated is.
I mean, I could see buying the press to get the accolades that would deserve a Grammy.
Because
but buying a Grammy straight, that's kind of cringe.
See, I guess that's a part. Is the music again? It's all art.
I'm going to keep working in millennial and Zoomer vernacular into the show.
Help me
get you guys started.
Help me sound good because I can't look at that way.
Yeah, no. Sure. I again, for those that you don't know, Devin is the Ghost in the Aux. He is definitely our generational. Space
interpreter,
to kind of to keep us old farts into what the
speak for yourself, buddy.
I know I'm much older than you are.
I have a question. Do the Hollywood Walk of Fame, right, is what it's called?
Yeah.
Does that have to be only individuals, or can that be shows also? Because we should buy one.
Yeah, right. So some bum dressed in an angel outfit can puke on it.
Oh, that'd be perfect. I would expect anything less. Right. Put it right on Skid Row.
Well, that's where it is.
I know. So
the Hollywood Walk of Fame is pretty much where you walk down through the night, and
so Ghost in the Aux should get one.
You've got to step over all the junkies.
Yeah. So actually, they do have a couple of because like Kevin says, because you've been to LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, have you?
I was invited, but I didn't go.
So it is exactly like Kevin said. It's a cluster of people. You think of Times Square with all the performers and people and what.
Oh, I know. It's like 20 cities that emerge into one.
Well,
too.
thing is they have to register their people. Each little vendor or performer has their own little square that they have to register that they get access to
kind of like hot dog carts in New York.
Very similar, yeah.
You have to pay for your spot.
But except way more heroin.
Yeah, so it's one of those
heroin carts.
Yeah, they're heroin carts.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those.
Needles here.
TV does not do justice
for free in the vending machines.
Yeah, do justice, but I think for movies and as an actor, I see benefit because if if your agency or whoever can pay for this to get the award, once you have nominee or winner of an Oscar on your resume, yes, you can claim more money. To me, as a performer,
the
it might be
the opposite. Because, for me, if the critics love a movie, I know it's a bad movie. Like, if the critics like it, if educated film people like the film,
the foreign press,
it's not going to have anything in it that I'm going to like.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, half these movies they announce, it's like I've no idea. And again, I don't go to much movies anymore.
Well,
but
they're judging them based on their art value.
Right, yeah.
And I don't go to the movies for art. I want to see body count and lasers.
Yeah, I want to watch Hangover 45, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so all right, so again,
I like both.
Sure, we switch it up, right? So
I want to see a bunch of guys running on white helmets, bumping into the walls, shooting big hairy things.
I definitely.
That's what I like.
I got to show you a clip of there was
living in a giant ball in space.
There's a video of how if stormtroopers got LASIK surgery, like how deadly they end up being.
Morning, boys. So a few of you have raised concerns over our lack of eye care coverage, and trust me, I get it.
Hell yeah, brother!
You get 20/20 vision. You get 20/20 vision.
Wow, I can see. We come. Bullseye! This is so easy! Die!
Am I?
You got to watch this video. I mean, the AI stuff in these videos is getting crazy.
You know
now,
what's funny is the stormtroopers have, later on in Star Wars lore, the stormtroopers, became known as inept and bad shooters. But I just watched episode 4, A New Hope, when they find the Jawas were murdered, right?
Luke's aunt and uncle.
Well, before that scene.
Oh, before that.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is like, well, we are meant to think that they are sand people that did this, but look at the accuracy of these shots. Only stormtroopers can shoot with that kind of accuracy. Yeah. And maybe that was sarcasm, or it could be turned into sarcasm, but he gave him credit for shooting well. Maybe they have that replicative fading issue. going on.
So, like most things go downhill, including human performance or stormtrooper performance.
Well, like the old days when you make a copy every once in a while.
That's right.
After a while, the copies are not so good.
That's right. That's why I call the Clone Wars, right? And they should have just might as well called it Xerox Wars. So,
Well, that would have.
But in the Star Wars case, the clones were way superior than the droids in performance.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Initiative 69. What was that? Wasn't that?
General
Something
Order
like
69,
Yeah,
66.
whatever. Yeah, 66. Yeah. So I got to mix
The thing with the clones was they were. I'm huge in the Star Wars lore, so you're going in right in my alley right now.
I'm a big fan.
Hold on,
the
we're
clones.
going to have to at some point.
The clones were incredibly deadly and efficient and well trained, and they were essentially property. They were just slaves. Like that's all they were. They were just programmed biological clones. But they
Devin-
were super superior to the droids. The droids had in their favor is numbers, but they were dumb in comparison.
Devin, I don't want to make this a Star Wars episode, but damn it, I've got to have to ask you this question now. So,
me.
okay, so let me ask you this. So, if you said that they were slaves or whatever, so you're talking about the further episodes down the road. So, yes, this
That was never addressed within the Star Wars episodes itself.
yeah.
right. So this is why everyone was freaked out by when
66 orders with Palpatine.
No. So I'm trying to think here. So episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it would be 7, 8, 9, right? So the new movies
The new
are
Disney produced ones?
right. 7, 8, 9, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in episode 7, this is why everyone freaked out when you saw there's a black guy who's a stormtrooper.
Right.
Okay,
So-
okay, if they were all still clones,
They weren't.
They weren't.
Okay, that never was, to Kevin's point. It was never addressed. Now, again, in books and other things, that's part of the Star Wars lore.
In that,
You
it
know.
was addressed.
Okay.
In that, because
Actually, yeah, they do address it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
Yeah, 'cause
I
they-
It's
forgot.
kind of a throwaway
I
line.
forgot it.
Okay, so
they
I
got
can.
behind on their payments with Camino, and they had to like get prisoners and turn.
Well,
them
there
in.
was a few
Turn them
parts
into
to it,
stone-
They,
and this is
they repoed those stormtroopers.
so there's actually a few elements to this, and this is actually like cumulative lore from different sources that all come together to paint a picture, and that is the
View rates are going,
stormtroopers. When the Empire took over the whole government and everything, one of Palpatine's angles to control the population is to get rid of clones and conscript soldiers so that they have skin in the game and are being paid by the government and
Are
are
you-
basically
wait,
indoctrinated and stuck.
You're not trying to imply
Yep.
that's what we're living through right now by throwing all these illegals out of the country, and then you're trying to
Yeah,
imply?
no.
what we're doing is we're sending them back to the clone stormtrooper training facility in Guadalajara, and we're fitting them with white helmets and plastic armor.
You're never going to get asked to play
And
the
we're
Hard
gonna
Rock
s-
again,
then
Kevin.
We're going to
in Mexico City.
We're going to. I didn't play in Mexico City.
Okay, wherever Juarez.
And then further building on this, the First Order did something the same. They did inscription, except I think they were like
Conscription.
conscription. Sorry, conscription.
But you can
But-
conscribe someone by inscribing
yeah,
on
conscription is what I meant.
Like
they were,
a
but
big
I think
T.
for the First Order,
The
they were
Sharpie.
like basically like abducted children that were indoctrinated. Whereas for the Empire, it was just regular people who signed up but for military benefits, essentially, because that was the only work available. And then, but the First Order, I think in episode 7, there's a throwaway line where early on when Finn, the black guy you're talking about, when he's like acting up and they're like a little suspicious, there's a throwaway line where they're like, "Oh yeah, we abandoned the cloning protocol or whatever." He says some sciencey thing where he's like, "Oh, we abandoned that doctrine years ago. These are all like
Individuals,
actual
whatever,
individuals."
yeah.
There was some line like that. I forget exactly what they said, but it was acknowledged.
Damn, Devin is cucking this episode, isn't he?
All right, so that's
So
the Star
this-
Wars lore update of the week.
According to the Grammys. Can we move on now?
Yes, we can move
You
on.
asked me the question.
I don't know
Come
how
on.
the hell we got on that now. Let's think about it here. So we went way off tangent. So, but anyways, folks. If
All right, so yeah, put it in the comments if you like conscripted black people as your stormtroopers, or if you'd rather have white clone
Clone
people.
white people.
Yes.
Wow.
Put in the comments. Would you rather Grammy talk or Star Wars talk?
Yeah,
let's
there
see
we
which
go.
wins.
Yeah,
I bet
let's
you.
see which wins.
I got money on Star Wars.
And today,
You know what we could do is we could get white plastic cowboy hats for all of the stormtroopers posted in the western part of the galaxy. Give them 6 shooting lasers.
Actually, the western hemisphere of the galaxy is the less charted one.
The
so
outer
that makes
rim,
sense.
yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
outer
there
rim.
you go. That's see,
It makes perfect sense.
we
All the
go.
outlaws and stuff go there.
Kevin likes the inner rim.
stormtroopers, cowboys. Yes, well, you never know till you try it.
I don't know. I don't know why somebody just gave you a look from the. No comment. Anyway, so we want to get back to the Grammys now or not? We want to move on.
Yeah.
Shit. Wow.
So the
Well,
idea.
well, hold on.
Now, you know, I need to. I've got a friend who's involved in the Grammys, and I need to find these.
I thought you were
things
going to
out.
say, I got a friend that's involved in Star Wars.
Yeah, he's right over there. No, and I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to find out just how crass and commercialized these Grammy appointing thing is, because now the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is totally lost its credibility because, you know, there's people that have never even heard rock and roll that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So there's a bit of a breakdown into the integrity of awards in all categories in entertainment, and I think that's what we can all agree on that.
I agree. Right. No knocking against Dolly Parton, but why is she in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Because she's Dolly Parton. But I don't know. I can't answer that. I have no idea.
No,
She's cute as a button.
I think
though.
there's a couple even rap groups now. Are
there's
in
rap
the,
groups.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of rock
Right.
and roll bands that
Right.
belong in there, and a lot of not rock and roll bands that are in there.
So this whole and I go back to, you know, this is a folks who check this out episode, you know, with Andy and Lucia from the Smoke Boss Militias. You know, Andy had said, you know, hey, we don't want to be saddled by gender boundaries or names. And I think that's kind of what some of this has become. It's become so intertwined in things.
Wait, did you say gender, or were you talking about genre?
That too.
Or is that some sort of Freudian
It is a
slip?
Freudian slip.
You don't want to be pegged into any sort of gender
Jesus.
description.
Why did you use the word peg? What are you thinking?
What? I'm a little bit
Tracy's
taken aback
dying
by
over
this
there.
Freudian slip here.
Yeah.
We don't want to be classified by any specific.
Yeah.
All right.
And
all right.
and neither of us, this podcast does not,
Basketball game is over.
and this podcast does not kink shame either. Okay, so whatever you're,
No kink shaming here.
no. So
No, but
yeah.
yeah, I know what my birth certificate says. I'm not sure what you're talking about, though.
No, so I guess the point is what genre specific was. It has become very muddied. So what designates a country song? Just because you wore a cowboy hat in a video? What designates certain things in a pop song? Pop's a little bit more generalized, so that's kind of a little bit tougher. But you're not going to have Gojira, a metal band, that is clearly a metal band in a pop.
Is genre more dictated by the intent or the result?
I would say the result.
Yeah.
Yeah, no question. Because you could write a pop song, but have it played by a metal band, and it's not a pop song.
Very true.
Or you could take a Metallica song and put a TR-808 underneath it, and it's not a Metallica song anymore.
Well, I definitely
Which
think
they do that kind of stuff every day.
right. So I definitely think this year's Grammys, truly, like you said, has really exposed the hypocrisy of genres. And
Well, in
music.
our opinion.
In our opinion,
And it's not necessarily the opinion of what we say is not necessarily ours, and neither is endorsed by the NFL.
Are you sure about that?
maybe,
But it's
maybe.
we're just trying to present the possibility that it could be true. Not saying that it is.
No. So, on a broad scale of, again, going back to on a Sunday, watching the Grammys on a Sunday night, nothing else is on for 3.5 hours, and terrible host, Trevor Noah is just terrible. I don't know why they keep bringing him back. Was not funny at all. Bring back should bring back Ricky Gervais because he definitely would be spitting some serious like.
What's his name that does? I think it's because Brian Seacrest was booked already.
Right? Yeah, and his brother Ryan.
Oh wait, Ryan. Yeah,
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan and Brian. They're twins.
Yeah,
Nobody
yes.
knows it.
They should have Tony Hinchcliffe host so you can
Roast.
rip jokes about Puerto Rico again.
J-Lo wouldn't have shown up. Yeah. And J-Lo showed up too. You know, all she was just announcing
Puerto.
Yeah. But I'll tell you the best thing they say the best
Puerto Ricans are off limits now that they had that hurricane.
they said they saved the best for last, Kevin. They brought Shakira out
No kidding.
and she did her thing. And you of course everyone goes and looks, say, how old is she? She's nearly 50. And that girl, I'm like, they saved the best for last.
She's been to the gym. My favorite Shakira moment was the Super Bowl when it was Shakira and Beyonce assing it off, shaking it as fast as they could, and looking at each other like, "Oh hell no!" It was awesome. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
that was a great one.
Those
How many
guys
years ago was that?
Those guys weren't running to the bathroom to go take a leak. You know, they were running for other things. I think
They were. Those girls were just out dancing each other.
Shakira's amazing. So
Do not come.
Thanks, Kamala. I appreciate the reminder.
Now I definitely will hearing that voice. I won't. But yeah, so you don't have perform. I mean, let me go back a little bit of history here. You know, I know we've been all over this place in this podcast, but talking about Grammys in general, right? So I remember being in high school, 1989. Yes, I know I'm old. And Metallica plays one at the Grammys. This is almost just to kind of think about, you know, over 30 years ago, what these shows used to be about. They come out there and bang out playing one. And that kind of was their breakthrough into the more of the mainstream stuff. This is the first year they have the metal genre. Again, this is when metal used to be, you know, pretty popular.
Wait, this year, 30 years after metal was popular?
No, I'm saying 89. Back in 89.
89
yeah,
was the
88,
first year.
89,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, so very first year, right?
You can see how much I watch this show.
So who wins best metal album then? And that episode, that year was Jethro Tull.
Oh, I remember that was a huge controversy.
Right.
Jethro Tull isn't even remotely metal.
Right. And he was
You
kind
can't
of
have
even
a flute in your band and be metal.
No,
You
I
just
guess
can't do that.
can't you have a metal flutist? That'd be
Their flutes are made of metal. Maybe that was the
maybe
that was the
I guess.
confusion.
So everyone blew up on how they said that yes, the voting people were so out of touch with the category. So of course they got, you know, Metallica got their Grammy the following year or whatever, right? You know, or when they came out with the next album.
Oh,
Yeah.
what rock band played the Grammys before? Was it Jethro Tull and played 1988?
That I don't know. I
would
don't
be
know.
an interesting
I don't know.
factoid.
So can we fact check that real quick to put down your vape pen? So
Looks like he's got an eraser in his mouth.
he's got to unplug all his USB gadgets.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up I'm gonna look up Wikipedia on my vape.
Yeah.
They have
caught him off
vapes that
guard. He
do
was-
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I
now.
know.
He was
That's crazy.
scanning his ID
Yeah.
into Pornhub.
Yeah,
and got him off guard.
he was too busy, something in his mouth, I guess. But yeah, so there's definitely a type of change in the genres that has happened, and you didn't see any of these other. Again, it's all right. So I'll say is if it's on next year and I'm not even paying attention, will I watch it? Sure, just because it's music, right? And if I've got nothing going on, sure, I'll watch it. But like this,
Oh, that's the mark of quality. If I've got nothing else to do, I will watch your
Right.
multi-million-dollar production.
Am I getting excited over any one performer and so forth? Not really. You know, I mean, am I really the target audience for Billie Eilish or Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, or, you know, again, they had all those people, all those performers right front and stage. Again, it's all TV, promotional, market, all that stuff that goes with it. Hell, they even had, I don't know if you haven't seen this, and I didn't know who it was until somebody told me afterwards. They had somebody sitting fairly up front in the stage there, had this weird hat. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about, Devin?
What's the hat?
It was a hat. It was like shaped like a castle or a house or something. It was weird. It was, I don't know. I'll have to show you
I
afterwards.
think I've seen a picture of this.
And I didn't realize somebody said, it's like, oh, that's Will Smith's kid. I'm like,
Oh, I did see this picture.
like, what?
As Jaden Smith?
yeah, I guess.
I
guess.
did see that picture.
So to me, I'm like, all right, look.
Oh, that's hot.
So to me, fashion and extreme craziness, like, okay, That's what a lot of this is about, especially if you're rock
the
and roll.
goal is achieved. You're
Yeah.
talking about him.
Exactly, right. So
So he's probably got some weird hat movie coming out soon. And
and maybe it could be like
that's what
Karate
the
Kid.
promotion is.
Karate Kid meets the castle monster.
the Castle Hat Monster.
Karate Kid meets the Castle Monster. That sounds like a Scooby Doo episode.
Right?
yeah.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those kids and their mangy dogs.
Shaggy.
Those meddling kids and their mangy
Those meddling
dogs. Oh.
Karate Kids.
Right now, we think Devin found the Scooby snacks. Actually,
I pulled up the 30th annual Grammy Awards, which was 1988, March 2nd, 1988. What would you like to know? You want me to just run down everything?
Who were the bands that performed?
yeah,
The performers, there's a lot on this list, actually. Don't know. I don't think it distinguishes which ones are televised and which ones are not. Maybe back then all of them were. I don't know.
we were looking for was Jethro Tull
Yeah, see if
a
Jethro
performer?
Tull is on
Jeff
the
who?
list.
Jethro.
Throw.
Tull. Jethro and
Jethro.
Nellie Mae Tull.
No. Not a performer.
Okay.
Now, you sure that wasn't the year Metallica performed? No, was Metallica on the list? Because I may have the year wrong.
No.
Okay, all right. So
Do you want to hear who did perform?
sure.
Yes.
Artists: Whitney Houston, George Benson, Cab Calloway, Celia Cruz, Tito Puente, Lou Reed, Run DMC, Billy Joel, Los Lobos, Suzanne Vega. Is it Suzanne or Susan? I don't know. Jackie Mason, George Strait, KT Oslin, Randy Travis, Betsy Cook, and Linda Thompson. I'm hearing myself on a delay in my headphones, and it's really screwing me up. Restless Heart, Terrence Trent, Darby, Jocko Henderson, featuring the Angels. I don't know if these are all featuring or just that part, and then these are others on the list. The Cadillacs, Dion, the Flamingos, the Regents, Lou Reed, Ruben Blades, Buster, Poindexter. Next was Michael Jackson and Dion.
Dion. Yeah. He's a 50s artist.
Those are all the performers, according to Wikipedia,
All right. Well, there you go.
from 1988.
Michael Jackson was still alive.
So that to me it shows in over
Asking us the parental question.
30 plus years. 30 plus years of that to me represents more of the genres across the board in music. You know, Shabuzi was up for a country music award. Do I think he's a
What?
country music? Yes.
Everybody Getting Tipsy is a country song?
yes.
No, it is not.
Right, Devin?
It is not a country song. I don't care how many Grammys.
Okay.
you
Well,
get.
okay. Hold on. Here, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't
Yes.
see. You said Metallica, right? For 89, I don't see them on the list of performers.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So, all right. So, best country. Let me go back here. So,
Oh wait, yes I do. I'm tripping. I skipped over him. I see him. 89.
all right. So, best country album for sure, right? We talked about Cowboy Carter by Beyonce. She won.
Yeah. Clearly.
Okay.
A long-term,
Here's-
perennial country star.
Here's the nominees: Post Malone, F1 Trillion. I didn't know. I don't even know what Post Malone
F1
is.
Trillion.
Post Malone
You never heard
is-
of Post Malone?
He's a
No,
rapper
I know who
and
he is.
country. He's kind of like
But-
Jelly Roll a little
But
bit.
that's what I mean. Like to me, it's like this crossover stuff.
He's like
is
Teddy
really-
Swims, but with more hair.
Yeah.
Post Malone started as country, I think, and then went into rap, and then kind of went back into country again.
Right. So again,
I think.
right. All right. So Casey Musgraves, purely a country
been
musician,
doing it for a
right?
long
Yeah,
time.
for a long time,
Paying her
right?
dues.
Right. Chris Stapleton,
Chris Stapleton. You can't get away from Chris Stapleton.
right? Yeah. And then Lainey Wilson, another.
Laney Wilson. Yeah.
So-
Country star.
So you've got, at least in my mind, you've got at least 3 out of the 5 are really what we consider country. Right. So
Okay.
Post Malone and Beyonce are the 2 that I, obviously would not consider. I throw Post Malone in that whole mix too. To me, I'm not a country fan.
I'll
of
say
what-
Post Malone should be like a 0.5.
0.5% country. 50% country.
50%.
He don't wear a cowboy hat, and not too many cowboys have tattooed faces. But he's tall. That counts, I guess.
He's tall and ugly like a cowboy should be.
So definitely, we should give a shout out though. Maybe we can get this person on the podcast because they are. I mean, they're not independent anymore. Obviously, best rap album went to Alligator Bites Never Heal, Doechii. This was a rap album. Now she performed and she put on a killer set, But so it was definitely she beat out J. Cole.
Is she from Florida? How would she know?
She's from Tampa.
She might know.
So maybe when we do our Riffs and Rhythms Festival in
Check her
Tampa,
for alligator bites.
we may. Maybe she'll let you. I don't know.
They won't have healed if she's correct.
Yes. So it's I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know if is it a sign of getting old that what you see on TV is no longer what you're familiar with. I don't know.
No, it's a sign of being out of touch. It has nothing to do with age.
Yeah, like I said, I have no idea who half of these artists were. Obviously, Taylor Swift's like I said, Taylor Swift sat out front, Beyonce sat out front. Billie Eilish, she performed with her, as well, and
it's a chance to see and be seen. Get on the red carpet wearing somebody else's expensive clothes. They take your picture. You're on all the magazines.
Oh, speaking of red carpet, but I don't think he actually ever even went and got inside. So,
I love redheads.
I can't wait to hear what's coming next.
So your buddy Kanye was on the red carpet.
My buddy Kanye?
Yeah, and his girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they did the carpet, and and she, again, like most people walking the carpet, they're posing for photographers, showing whatever. And,
Wait, who is Kanye married to today?
Well,
I forget her name.
no, she's definitely not. He's not married to Kim Kardashian. Is that
No, that's been a long time.
If that's what you're asking about, right? So yes, so him and his girlfriend showed up to the red carpet, and let's just say
Her outfit was amazing.
I think this would be definitely Kevin approved. Actually, I think what I'm saying here. So
Let's take a look at this.
yeah, we're gonna take a look at this here in a moment.
Can we have a full frontal shot?
There is one.
Well, you may get what you want, actually. So just hold on here while I'm trying to pull this up here. And yeah. Sorry, Devin, jump in here. So
Bing images, safe search off.
Yeah, talk about out of touch. You just poke it with your thumbs, or you just tell it. Tell it, I want to see Kanye West's
Trust me,
girlfriend.
use Bing over Google for this. Bing got the hookup.
People are going to die of old age waiting for
Bill
this.
Gates knows what we want.
Oh, there you go. That was her outfit? A bunch of digitized pixels?
without the digitized pixels.
Oh, she's wearing a clear dress, like a little black.
But she was
stretchy
wearing
dress, but
a mink coat
it's made
before
of
she
spider
disrobed.
web.
Before she disrobed, yes, it was a full on.
She doesn't look anything like Kim Kardashian, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah. She. Wait to stay.
Bianca Sensori was her name.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's a good thing that she's got it to do that. So I'm good.
Yep, more power to her.
She's wearing a dress made purely of spider web.
Saran wrap. So this Grammys is brought to you by Saran wrap and
And the new clear aluminum.
yes. Right. So, all right. So yeah. So Grammys again. As I mentioned, I checked out. Watched Rick Beato's video again. You guys, we've talked about Rick Beato's stuff. Great.
He was not
video.
down with the Grammys.
He was not down
Either?
with the Grammys
I think that's
either.
something.
He was not.
I
down.
like the way
Here's
Rick
a better
thinks.
image.
So he was not down with the sickness or even the country music stuff. So there's some.
Okay, yeah,
This is
it's not
this is later for Kevin Spank Bank. So hold on. Do you need your glasses?
No, I'm just trying to see where is the top of the dress. It's not even there. You can't see the
There is no
straps.
top. There's no bottom.
I love how he's got a zoom and pinch, zoom, pinch,
Oh,
zoom.
I see what's going on. It's
It looks like it's one.
no. This is
You know how
this
people will
is
put
not an
pantyhose over their
authentic
head
image.
to conceal their identity to rob somewhere?
Dude, you don't need to see his eye. This shit. Come on, man.
does she anyway? Whatever. He's looking at her. That's pretty cool.
This is screensaver now.
Yeah, there you go. Rock on.
Honestly, if this was me and my girl, this picture would be an amazing phone background image.
No kidding.
Yeah.
This would go so hard.
I bet.
No pun intended. I'm sure. So speaking of award ceremonies, speaking
Yes.
of governing bodies that
gotta be
deal
cold,
with
right?
music,
Yes.
not in California, not in Southern California. It's never cold. The median temperature is 70 degrees, and in the winter it's 69, and in the summer it's 71.
Besides the fires.
Except for the fires, which please accept our sincere thoughts and prayers to all the people who live in Southern California who've lost their homes, their livelihoods, their everything. Sorry about that.
I definitely would say is just quick before you go into the next part there, Kevin, is, I watched a really interesting documentary, one of the podcasts that I listened to and very entertaining and kind of very similar. I look at some aspects of their podcast network and shows, Drinking Bros, they've got an interesting, setup they've been doing for a long time.
And this segment of the LA Fires is sponsored by TossYourCigarette.com.
And yes, vape free, smoke free, less. But yeah, they had to send a couple of their guys out to the fires and to document it, and it was a fascinating documentary that they did, where they went out there and they thought they were going to see all the stuff that they thought were hearing on the news. Talk to more people. I'll have to, again, including a link. I was like just totally blown away about their documentation that they took, the video they took, the people they talked to, just covering the whole thing. Devin, I definitely want you to watch this because I think it's, I know with a lot of the video footage and things like that, it's kind of something to kind of take away from how they approached this podcast, their podcast network, how they went after, some videos, so forth. So anyway, yes, so it sucks. Hearts are out to all the people in California there for these fires. Wish there was something we can do for us, but yep. Anyway, so sorry. Go ahead, sir.
And just as an aside, whatever coverage you saw of those fires, it didn't do it. As a victim of a natural disaster myself, the pictures, the recounting, none of it even comes close to documenting the horrifying terribleness of it.
Yeah.
And we got a guest in the podcast studio. He's a secret guest.
So yes, he's sitting in the hot seat.
We've been talking about the validity of the Grammys.
and talking about penis sizes too.
Yeah. Didn't you hear the clomp outside?
Oh, he's gonna come back in and try again.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna go. He's got to go chub it up a little bit. So I'm a shower, not a grower.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so is I
was trying to make a segue here.
Yes,
we turned it into something else.
Inappropriate, but yeah, go
It's
ahead.
our specialty.
Yes.
Yeah, so there.
You know a man's been up to some nastiness when he got to wash his hands to go on a podcast.
Yeah.
He got to wash his hands to get on a mic.
He's got to wash his hands and get on a podcast.
He's been up to some no good, man.
Yes. He's
Some
been
dirty
touching some
deeds.
things.
He's over there drinking that
no
Mexican
one
beer.
should. So yeah, don't worry.
Sorry,
you're not
no-
on camera.
no camera.
Yes,
for you
no
today.
camera.
But we've got guests in the house.
It's low. It's low to the ground.
Yes.
I should be used to that.
But don't you see the
Yes,
cinder
you
block
are.
holding up the couch now?
Oh,
Yeah, it's more solid.
I missed that.
So we are getting ready to talk about this awesome logo that got made by somebody.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Look at that logo.
That's a beautiful logo.
So this is we're trying to make a segue to talk about the Treasure Coast Blues Society.
Much more valid than the Grammy Awards.
That was going to be the slow roast on it, but thank you. That's a beautiful sound. It's almost beer season.
Yeah, hold on. In 10
there's
minutes,
two
it'll be
beer-
beer 30.
There's 2 beer seasons.
That's right.
2 beer seasons on Earth. It's Oktoberfest and St. Patrick's Day.
And a new one that I discovered on Sunday. By the way, Brad Brock here.
Yeah, we should go ahead and introduce Brad Brock. He's off camera because we didn't bring one for him, but he's a surprise guest. So
Wow. Shit, we don't even get that.
that's the
Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you
the
very
first
much.
bit of canned applause on this entire episode, and it figures it would be to you because he can't get through the night without talking about you.
Look at that shirt, too, Paul. Man, y'all are rocking some nice shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know, but recently, I don't know what day is it. What day is what? Oh, hey.
It's today.
It's today.
Oh, yeah. So today, recently, and in the recent distant past, Groundhog's Day happened.
Yeah, that's right.
I heard about
So,
that.
About a week ago, right? Today is February
And
11th.
Talking about beer drinking days, you wouldn't think that it would be a beer drinking day, but man, John Nolly from the Funky Cuda, he made it into one, and it had a blast.
Awesome.
He was dressed like a groundhog. I wore a top hat.
No kidding. Did you call him Phil?
I know. I just said, "Hey, fill this up for me,"
That would be the perfect name for a bartender.
which he obliged.
Phil.
So, did you drink so much you saw 6 more weeks of your liver, or
Well, when we found out that the groundhog actually saw his shadow, we were like, "All right, 6 more weeks of drinking."
Perfect.
nice? So, thanks for coming in here. And it was like a Mr. Rogers Neighborhood. He just walked on in. So we'd like guests to just drop on in the show.
Well, I had no idea what
for
you
sure.
guys were doing, so I didn't want to like bust in on somebody's perfect story. But I was kind of listening, and I was like, I don't think there's anybody else in there.
How long you been out in the hall?
No, well, I wasn't. It wasn't long.
He was standing out there with all the other guests. that were
Believe
standing
me,
behind.
I'm pretty pretentious. I was not going to wait very long in the hallway.
They agree. Do you know who I am? I'm motherfucking Brock. I don't stand and wait for nobody. But yes, so sorry. So,
So
let me
back
go
on
aid.
target
Yes,
here.
Yes.
Stay
We'll fix it
on
in post.
target.
God, another Star Wars
Stay
reference.
on target.
Fucking A. Wow.
Brad, you turned off your targeting computers. Everything okay? No, hold on. What we're talking about is the Treasure Coast Blues Society, and it is a local society that's part of a worldwide family of organizations that are tasked with keeping the blues alive. And I happen to be the vice president of that organization. I was elected to that because nobody else would do it.
Don't sell yourself short, man.
And Paul has actually become a part of the Treasure Coast Blues Society's sphere of awesomeness because he was the official cameraman and chronicler of the Kevin McLoughlin Band's trip to Memphis to the International Blues Challenge. And through extensive negotiations, just extensive negotiations, this podcast has been deemed the official podcast of the Treasure Coast Blues Society.
That's a nice drum roll. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, so there you go.
Very, very cool.
So what that means, we're not sure yet, but
sure.
it's really good.
So yes.
I myself just became a member of the Treasure Coast Blues Society. I paid my dues, got my card carrying.
Rock on, a card-carrying member of the Blues Society. So the Blues Society, in keeping the blues alive, what we do is we just hang out and drink and talk about the blues a lot. And we go to blues concerts. We actually put on blues concerts. We look to create a new generation of blues musicians, foster their learning, and just in general increase the visibility and awesomeness of the local Treasure Coast music scene.
Very cool. So we are very humble to be recognized or be part of it. The Treasure Coast Blues Society, of the many societies. I was just chatting with my folks and some of their friends who they're visiting from North Carolina who were into blues and was telling them about our trip and how we're here we have our own area the Treasure Coast and so it's very cool to help to kind of keep the blues alive, right? Is the
Yeah, you got to do
moniker,
it.
right? So thank you for recognizing us as being a podcast of the Treasure Coast Blues Society to obviously help promote, right? That's a big one, to get more folks out there. We three of us have all talked at recent events about trying to do some events to draw more people in, younger crowd in as well. May do some events up in the Fort Pierce area at some venues.
Yeah, no question. Actually,
so.
It is important. One of the reasons why it's important to keep the blues alive is because the blues, along with jazz, is two of the only uniquely American art forms.
Yeah.
Because they invented painting way before they found the North American continent. So, and you were talking about the festival that's coming up.
That's right. Yeah. So, you got blues.
The Big Blues
right.
Blast at Filthy's on April 6th is happening on April 6th. And it's called the Big Blues Blast, as aforementioned. And it's going to be big. There's going to be lots of blues.
And you're going to get blasted.
And you're going to get blasted
I'm in.
with blues and liquor at the same time.
So, are you performing?
Yes, I am one of these scheduled performers. We got 5 big blasty bands.
Okay. Very cool. So obviously,
Yeah,
we
so
got-
Hurricane
yeah.
Hawk and the Invaders, the Cedric Talton Band, awesome blues band. We've got the Jake Walden Band, who represented the Treasure Coast at the International Blues Challenge for 2025. And we've got the Dave Scott and the Reckless Shots is going to be the headlining act.
Very cool.
And that's it.
Very cool.
That was 5, right?
So yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll obviously we're now part of that system, so we will be there and
Yeah, Hawk,
supporting
Cedric, Jake, Kevin, and Dave.
supporting it and so forth and so on. So yeah.
Do they
definitely.
already film or do any kind of media coverage of these?
Not
Nope.
yet. So
Well, it's happening on April 6th, so we haven't
yeah,
filmed it yet.
let's talk about it. So yeah, so we'll obviously since
We
we're,
should definitely do
Yes,
that. We
yeah,
have our
for
own
sure.
ghost on the aux. We could
That's right.
set up some. They've got exposed rafters. We could set up some cool camera angles. We'll get in there early. We'll
So-
be in there early.
Hell yeah.
It's a Sunday, and it starts at 1.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. So we appreciate this recognition and be part of it again. Now, whatever we are going to and can do to be part of the communities and support and get the word out there, promote, and so forth. So yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm glad.
And now that we're on the subject,
yes.
go out and do something cool. Don't sit at home. Stop it. Go out.
Yeah, haven't we had enough of that? Sitting at
Interact
home
with
doing
human.
nothing?
Yeah, right. For years we've been get back in the habit of going out. Go out. See a band. This is my platform for one of my platforms for 2025. The live music industry has gotten very expensive. If you're going to go and see a band, your favorite band, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Instead, especially those of you who live here on the Treasure Coast, but it's true in every town almost, you can just go to your local dining or drinking establishment, sit down and watch it. Costs a concert of an awesome local band who's playing songs from your favorite band anyway. You just walk it. You don't even have to buy anything most of the time. You just sit down, great show, have a good time.
It'd be good if you did buy something because that helps facilitate further music.
Well, it does, but they will let you live if you do not
yeah,
in most neighborhoods.
most places.
So you take advantage of that, because if you don't, what's going to happen is it's going to go away, and then you'll be left with nothing but sore thumbs,
And
poking your phone all night long, alone in the dark.
and Beyonce music with cowboy hats.
Yeah.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold 'em.
Yeah.
So
Please, no.
So
You're welcome.
So another thing we definitely should make sure we get people out there to go be part of the community, support the community, support music is the upcoming Martin County Fair. So definitely
It's happening, right?
It's happening.
Like this weekend.
Yeah. So I mean, here's May 11th or May 11th. Holy shit, I'm jumping
May
way ahead.
11th.
Sorry, February 11th. Sorry.
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not. So yes, so February 11th, there, Big Fest.
Big Fest is actually
Yeah.
a big fest.
Yes. And you'll be performing on the 20th?
Yes. I
Yep.
actually got a chance. It's actually really cool to be doing my monthly newsletter and saying stuff, and it's not just hype. It's actually, I'm really doing it. And one of the headlines in my newsletter was, I am headlining festivals now. And I'm headlining Big Fest. Damn it.
There you go.
I like that.
Come check it out there. And
Two other bands.
after you watch Kevin and the band perform, go down the Tilt-A-Whirl and eat a whole bunch of corn dogs, and you do what you normally do at a fair.
There you go. Evenly redistribute those
So
corn dogs.
so Devin, we're going to go to the 20th, right? So that's a Thursday, I think.
That's a Thursday, yeah.
So we're going to make sure. So clear your calendar. We got a date night. We're going to go up there and hang out there and cover it because
night.
we're going to go ahead and we're going to put you up at that Twinkie Pop Tart challenge that Micah talked about last week about deep fried.
Oh, deep fried.
Yeah, we're going to get you. We're going to see how much you can eat of deep fried.
Pepsi.
So
Deep fried Pop-Tarts.
Are you covering my health insurance?
do you have any?
No.
It's sponsored by the American Valve Replacement Association.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we'll carry a portable EKG machine and defibrillator.
No, but that food is awesome. I hope they got a donut vendor because I love fair donuts.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a blast. February 20th in Martin County. They still have a few more years at their current location. And it's $10 to get into the fair that day. And Big Fest is free to get in once you're in the fair.
Dude, it's dirt cheap.
You've got to fight your way through the elephant ear and popcorn vendors, but you'll make it.
So, well, cool. So this has been a fun episode here. I know we didn't initially have a guest this week. We were talking mostly about.
We don't need no Steen King guest.
We did have a pop-in guest. It popped in here, Mr.
As a matter of fact, we didn't even really give you a chance to talk. You want to come back next week? Hang out with us again?
Oh, hell, why not?
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
So
You have to get your camera, though.
It's crazy how things come together
People
like
want to
that.
see
Huh?
your pretty face.
yeah, we planned it this way. So thanks for tuning in to this podcast episode. Definitely check out the audio stream there, B3 Podcast Network. So the Riffs and Rhythms show, Jams and Cocktails, Drums and Rums is coming back as well here in their 5th year. So we'll get a lot of great stuff that we're going to start thinking about and planning. Also, maybe some Key West
You're going to
trips.
start thinking about doing stuff?
I'll think about
He's
it.
never
So-
thought about the stuff
so
he's done before.
We may do a Key West trip, which we do need to really seriously talk about. So listen to our audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, etc. Don't forget to watch us on YouTube. I know you already are. If you're watching it, hit the like and subscribe button there. Check out all of Kevin's stuff there. Check out all the links. Check out Ghost in the Aux. We've got a lot of stuff to check out there. So
The whole
support the
B3 Podcast Network.
Yes, that's right.
Is a network of podcasting B3ers.
B3.
Ghost in the Aux officially coming out of hiatus next week.
Oh, well, cool.
yeah.
All right, so you got an episode coming up?
Yeah, we've been asleep a little bit, asleep behind the wheel a little bit, but we coming back, waking up.
What are you talking about? He's been filming his whole camera over there, like he's been doing he's doing a podcast within the podcast. Ooh. That's why he was very talkative tonight.
Podcast espionage is going on here.
He's got his camera on his MacBook over there,
But it's
filming.
us. It's us because we're using all of his
Yeah.
secrets.
So definitely check it out there. Don't forget to check out Patreon too if you want to support the podcast there. We got some interesting content we're starting to throw out there. So there might be some naked bodies on there. I can't tell you which one it is of us.
Yeah, it's neither one of us.
So
Kevin's got his newsletter. We got the Riffs and Rhythms news letter. Some naked bodies on there.
Write that down.
newsletter.
That is
Newsletter.
awesome. The
So
newsletter.
that should be that should go out on.
I'm an ideas man. What can I say?
That should go out on April 1st.
I need a newsletter.
Kevin's newsletter. And which letter would that be? Oh, okay. Maybe for the next episode, we'll find out. So thanks again for tuning in the podcast here. This is the Riffs and Rhythms podcast. This guy is
Kevin McLoughlin.
And I'm Paul Robertson. Cheers. Till
I'm out of
next
cheersing,
week.
but no, I got a little left.